Follow the finger.
Restorations where all turns new. Bikes and cars revived, it's quite a view. With Kaz and Winnie, the restoration team will make these classics fulfill their dream. Watch the shades from rust to shining chrome. Each builds a journey, glad you've come along. If our restorations get your motor running, like and subscribe, keep the channel humming.
Hi, welcome back. This is part 2 of the Ford Transit Connect. Where were we? What were we doing? We were servicing the engine. I've forgotten. See, this is where my brain fails. I get all geared up to say what I need to say. Press the button. No. Oh, anyway, this is part 2 of the 2-part series of finding the leak. The leak, thank you. I heard you shouting from the back. The leak, of course it is the leak. Well, I think I've sussed out where the leak's coming from. We're addressing that as we go along. Now, I have ordered a new radiator for this vehicle. So whilst I wait for that to turn up, I need to remove literally every hose. And where are we? Let's get some sunshine in there. That one's not so bad, that end. Yeah, I don't know if you can see down in there, but there is an awful lot of that coppery, rusty coloured flipping goo in all the pipes. So I'm going to need to pipe clean them out, of which I have a very long one on a spiral rod sort of thing. So that's something to do in a second. Also, what I'm finding is a lot of these hoses are nicked or worn. You know, when a hose rubs against a part of the engine or a part of the chassis or whatever it is, rubs a groove into it, and that's what causes the hoses to fail over time, apart from obviously rotting rubber. So I've had a good inspection of this couple, and look at that. Not very good, is it? Now, that isn't water letting through, that's water that's inside this protective sleeve. But it's kind of helped, hasn't it? It's taken that long to get through that first layer, and now it's just going through there, and it's trying to chomp into that latter part. And there's another piece there, look, where it's been rubbing. You can see that. So I have some very special tape, which, follow the finger, is here. I've got all these to treble check as well. I will go over those as well. This is cloth tape, very, very sticky. It's like self-amalgamating tape, only it's made of cotton and not rubber. Google self-amalgamating tape and you'll understand what I mean. I have got some of that somewhere, and I normally keep it in or around the van or the car, because if you have a radiator hose pop, wherever it is, wherever you are on the planet, if you've got a roll of self-amalgamating tape and jug of water, you can get back on the road again, because you just wrap it around it yourself, and it self-seals as it goes. Self-amalgamating, it joins back to itself. Yeah, so if you haven't got one of those, lads, keep a roll of that in your toolbox or in your door card. Right, let me crack on now, get things cleaned. There is the nice new shiny header tank, waiting for a train. You're going to be singing it now for the rest of your days. Tough. It's been a deluge here all last night and all morning. Now it's the early afternoon and the sun is beating down, drying everything up, and it is turning into a beautiful afternoon. So there's no reason why I can't literally get this radiator out. Drawings show 2 fan motors and blades in this radiator, and there are 2 apertures for 2 fans, but this fan's only got 1 fan and the other electrics is just taped up. I don't know, unless the other one is for oil cooler or something to do with the aircon, which it doesn't have. It's the base model. Don't know. just something to think about. So I'm going to get the rad out. And I need to find out if I need any more parts, because the front panel, lower panel that the radiator sits down into with 2 prongs and like a couple of rubber shoes, if you like, bushes. Normally this rots away. There's a steel bar, steel panel, if you like, it rots away. It's not very brilliant. Mine, I thought mine had gone because the radiator is just floating around, and it's literally the top and bottom hoses are holding the radiator where it is. That's pretty much it. So I need to really get in there. Mine seems to be intact. It's not brilliant and it's not looking pretty, but it's still there and it's intact. So I need to, like I say, strip the front of this vehicle off pretty much, apart from the chassis, obviously. There are no metal panels on the front I can remove. No point in taking the bumper off. I can get at everything from the top here and go from there. So the brew is needed. Spanners need to be spannering, and I need to be getting my head down in the dark bits. Catch you in a minute. Right, there's a lot more to this pipe not being bolted in with that 10mm bolt that I just found I found yesterday in the shed through that bracket. Can't really see, it's too freaking bright now. No, I'm not going to moan about it in there. As the bracket goes along, remember that bolt there? Where is it? Sorry, I got my finger over it. That bolt. That bolt there, well, stud, and there's the nut on it. That wasn't even done up either. Well, I'm trying to now remove that stud, because you need a bolt to go in first, or the stud to go in first and be bolted into the engine. That nut needs to come off because this bracket is not in the right place. So the bracket has to come back off. No wonder that wiring loom doesn't go anywhere near clicking into those little notches on that bracket. What's been going on with this vehicle? I really would like to know. Anyway, it's in the right place now, isn't it, hopefully. But it just means that I'm going backwards now. I'm taking all stuff back off again to try and deal with issues which I didn't know existed until I've just learnt about them. Hi, welcome along to the channel. I'm Adi and this is Adi's AIDS Restorations, and today I am doing many things, but what the fuck was that? Don't know. Today I am polishing, or not polishing, I am cleaning up the barrel of a BSA Scorpion 2.2. And here it is. So let's have a really good look at just how rubbish it is. Let's get into the proper light. There we go. In actual fact, let's get into daylight. That's probably the only best way to view this. As you can see, it's pretty bonus. Obviously I've taken the thing apart. I don't know if I have any other footage of me doing so, but suffice to say, you could only cock the barrel that much. It would not go anywhere near compressing because the piston was seized in the barrel, or the chamber, because the old leather seal had literally turned to, I don't know what, brake pads. Well, you can see it's not good, is it? So let's get back in here. So it's missing the front sight, which is, I think, are they threaded recesses? They should be, I would have thought. And it's also missing the rear sight. It's a pretty sorry state, to be fair. The plastic cowling is cracked. I've managed to do the best I can so far with it. But so you get the picture. There is the serial number. And there we have so far BSA Guns Limited, England, 0.22 cal, and I am literally wire brushing very slowly this old cack off it. Basically, it looks like, if you're familiar with MGB GT, or MGBs, this paint looks like the dash of an MGB. It's got that special special sort of ripply hammered look, some kind of colour. But anyway, my tools are pretty standard, they're pretty basic. I could do with a little bit more illumination over in this corner. Here's my pillar drill, and this is about as wonky as they get, so I'll be going but I call it the hammer action buffing, actually. But anyway, you'll see what I mean. Just gives it a little more something or other. It works for me. I know it's a bit crude, but there we go. Once I've cleaned this barrel up, I'll then go over it with a very fine 1200 grit paper and then a very fine 3000 grit paper. And then basically I will go over it with gun blue. There we go, liquid gun blue. You see, it does bring it up quite nicely, considering what it was like. It was just flipping horrible, absolutely horrible. But there we go. There's a little bit of crud. James Bond 007. A little bit of crud down there, but it's cleaner than what it was. I managed to dig out this seating sill. That is quite a depth in there. I reckon that's a good 3 mil. That drop in there. Anyway, that's where another seal goes. I think it's a leather seal again. Don't quote me on that, guys. If you do know, please let me know, because I am 80 and I am an expert at absolutely nothing, and I like to learn as I go. I've got quite a bit of engineering history in you know, what I've done over the years, kind of thing. Never really had books to look at, or certainly didn't have the internet to look at. And now there are a couple of things I've gone, oh, that'd be interesting to see how to do it. I've done that to literally a couple of things, like electrolysis. I had to get, I wasn't sure about the anode, which one's the anode and which one's the cathode, that kind of thing. And I also did a DSG gearbox fix on our VW Touran, which was very successful. I did loosely, well, watched the German videos about 3 times of how to do it, and they of course had £300 special tools, of which you need, I think it's 4. So I kind of muddled through. I made some tools out of old tools. I cut them up, bent them, heat treated them and all that kind of thing, just to do what I needed to do and get the car back on the road, which I did. So there you go, that's what I'm all about. I like to repair things, generally, if I can, breathe a little bit more life back into things that would normally go into landfill, or just the dustbin, basically. Right, I'll catch you in a bit when I finish this. Well, here we are in the kitchen. Sorry about the bumble dry, I can't do nothing about that. Well, that's interesting. I've been pouring Fairy, which is basically, for you guys in America, Dawn dish soap. I've been pouring it down there, nothing was coming out. Now it's just started, literally just started to flow down through. So that was interesting, isn't it? Because obviously there is some sort of restriction somewhere along there. Let me just finish this recording, let you, and do it when the machine stopped. Right, after 3rd bowl of water, foot pumps, adapters, plaster coming off because of the sheer amount of sweat that I am producing, I have managed to, both these hoses, pipes, whatever you want to call them, were blocked. Okay, I'm very blocked indeed. Now, that one's free, and as you can see, that one's free too. Now, the reason they were blocked is because I think they go that way. in the van like that, in and out of the header tank. If you look very closely, you've got an enlarged section there and an enlarged section here, like the worm set, you know, the big section of the worm sort of thing. Well, those are very hard indeed. They are bits of plastic with a hole in the middle. They are restrictors. They attach. One goes, I think, to the bottom of the radiator, and one goes to the top of the radiator, and they both go back to the header tank, just as a bypass. If pressure gets too much, it obviously goes through the restrictor to alleviate a little bit of pressure, and hence just what it does. So they were both blocked with this browny fucking dog poo block stuff, this leak seam material. Now they are clean. They are very clean indeed. So much stuff has come out of these. I had to pump it. You couldn't pump either way. I thought they were one-way valves to start with, because you couldn't pump both either way. So Caroline's been out there. The floor's been sodden. There's been water splashed right at the windows. It hasn't been fun, I can tell you that. But they are now unblocked, so they can now do what they're supposed to do, i.e. sort of like pressure relief valves, if you like. So they encourage the main water flow from the top and bottom big hoses of the radiator, as opposed to the little ones at the bottom. Okay, right. Yeah, I am absolutely knackered. I know I'll probably look like it. Is my thing bleeding again? I don't know. I don't care. I need to pull the plug out. I've had a brew. I just need to go to sleep now. Sorry about the noise. Catch you in a bit. Right, let's get back to the job in hand then. Obviously we know about this pipe, which needs a little bit of assistance in there to protect that from rubbing any further through the pipe than it is. And I've noticed, I've been through the pile of hoses, and another one, we've got a bit here, obviously that's been rubbing quite vigorously against something. There's quite a chunk out of it there, and I did notice elsewhere some other gouges, so endeavour, oh yeah, one up there, endeavour just to go over that with a fine tooth pick, get them two sorted out with the super duper tape, and let's do it now. I can't believe what I've just seen. You know, there were two bolts, or a stud and a bolt, or a screw, holding the gearbox on at the top, the two brackets. There weren't bolts in there. There was one stud was hanging out on the bracket, and the other bolt just wasn't there. Go and look at this. I'm looking down here at this pipe here, thinking, where can the oil be coming from? And look, just next to it, I kid you not, can't even get my freaking hand in there. Can I? Are you still seeing it? No. No, it's not even there. Where is it? It's there. It's just about to fall out. I can't believe my freaking eyelids. I really can't. I am going to have to take off every single hose, get everything out of the way, get right down in here, get these hoses off. This obviously disconnected there from the catch can. I'm going to have to get, I mean, look at all this. That's supposed to be on there, I think. Look at the state of it. I need to get right in here. This isn't connected to anything. It's a fucking right bodge, isn't it? And how many more bolts are loose? That one's done up down in there. That one there that I'm pointing to, that one's alright. I need to get underneath, don't I? I've also ordered a sump, simply because this one's got a big dent in the bottom of it, right in the bottom where the pickup tube will be. And there's about 4 million tonnes, which is slightly exaggerating, of a sealant. And I've pulled a bit of, well, it looked like a big lump of jelly, and I pulled at it, and of course it came unstuck about 9 inches all the way across the bottom of the sump. And I really don't know if I start the engine, obviously I can't at the moment, whether oil will just piss out. Now I've got to change the oil, got to flush the engine. So it's all I can say is there's a good job I'm getting under this engine. Now everything I look at is broken, bent, missing, damaged, split, corroded, or seized. In that order, I think. Would you admit? But that's what I do. I make things better if I can. I think it's young enough an engine to be saved. It's 154 million, thousand, trillion, zillion miles, kilometers, miles. But it's sweet as it's as smooth as silk. Looking at the condition of it, it doesn't deserve to be running. It doesn't. If you'd have said to me, here, look at this engine, do you think it runs or not? I would have gone, no. But there we are. Oil, you know, a little tiny oil leak can blow up into can look like an absolute car crash, can't it? Excuse the pun. Right, I need to go on listening to some Ash, and I need a brew. Seriously need a brew. No idea how long this video's gone on for. I better check this before I go too much further. I don't want to do too many long videos because you guys are awake and up 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're early for work because I've just making you nod off, which is fine. But you know, if I could do the same, can one of you guys make really boring videos and stick them on, and I'll help me nod off, won't it? Public service is all I'm saying. I'm just kidding. I'm just mucking about. Okay, I have done the thing to these hoses. As you can see, that's all nicely webbed up now. At least it will stop it being rubber to metal, you know, friction. So that won't do. I've got a plaster on there, and a plaster on there, and plaster on there. So there we go. All the rest seem jolly good. Ready to go. So I've got radiator coming, I've got sump and gasket and plug coming, I have the oil, the air filter's already been changed, I have hoses to go on that are replacing broken ones or damaged ones, very damaged ones should I say. I've already put the glow plugs in. I've also just put in the little bit of wiring loom which goes along there, you see it? It comes out here. They're all on there now with the new nuts all bolted in. There's 2, there's 3 in there, and number 4. So that's all ready to go. I am trying to get the radiator out, but it looks like I need to remove the alternator, which isn't a bad thing because I've got a new serpentine belt somewhere. It's in the thing in there. I've got this Gates hose to go on where there's a, like I said yesterday, a little short stumpy piece in there, and I've got a really good feeling that I'm going to need to replace the tensioner pulley for the auxiliary belt as well because it looks pitted and horrible. Do you want to have a look? And if you can see it here in this dark light, but it's, where is it? It's right at the bottom centre of your picture there. I don't know if you can see that. But it looks like it's so pitted and knackered, and I don't know where the water pump is. Where would the water pump be? It might even, no it's not. See, we've got the cam belt, that's the point. Cam belt tensioner. That cover has not been on for a very, very long time. These bolts have not been disturbed in, well, I'm going to say a long time, because there is no sign of anything. There's no stickers anywhere on the bolt anywhere saying it's done. These clips are half dead anyway. There's that rotten bit of pipe that's in there with that gate swing, as I've just shown you. That needs to be replaced, and that pipe continues down deeper and down and comes down to here. So I really need to get this alternator. Oh no, that's not the alternator. What's that? That's a lift pump. Is it not? Yeah, it's a lift pump. That's basically a fuel pump, guys. So fuel pump into the distributor, high pressure fuel sensor, and then it goes off to your four cylinders via the injectors. So yeah, that's a lift pump. I don't really want to disturb that because that's driven, isn't it, from the from the cam belt. But that does need to change. I would not. Well, I'd be stupid to leave that there, wouldn't I? Absolutely stupid. So what we got under there? We got another pipe under there. There are so many pipes, literally, behind all this gubbins here. There's the thermostat housing. Again, more clips off. That obviously goes onto that pipe there, which is the dipstick tube, I think. Yeah, there it is. This hose down here, that goes straight into the block. There's one of those clips in there. I'm only seeing this because I'm looking at the screen of the phone. That's how bad it is. DG starter motor. Yeah, it's a bit of a shit tip, isn't it? Luckily, this bracket is in place. This is the one that normally rots through and the radiator falls at the bottom of the vehicle. So mine's intact. It does need a little bit of a wire brush and a lick, but like I say, the only thing stopping this coming out is the distance between there and there is about 3 inches, and that ain't enough, because as soon as you start pulling it up and think it wants to go that way to clear this top bar here, and it's not easy. And that's not as you can't. This alternator obviously hasn't got an adjustable. It's not adjustable. It's bolted in place because there is a tensioner which takes up the slack, as opposed to you moving the alternator on a rod sort of thing, on a bar, adjustable bar. So I have to remove it, and it's really good, that alternator, because it's really pumping out the volts. Oh, fiddlesticks. And I've also found another thing, that this bonnet, it's not majorly major, but this bonnet is completely rusted. Can you see that or not? Focus. It's all rusted all the way along the nose, hence the bit of black tape going all the way across, just covering up all that rot under there. And every time in the morning that I lift this bonnet up, water is dripping out of the holes. It's dripping down, coming out of here as well, running back, and like I say, coming out of everywhere, but mainly out of here where it's really, really rusty. You'll see. Okay, now the only place the water can get in is behind my new badge that I've put in. So because it slightly moves a little bit, I'm thinking I need to take this off, fucking silicone right round it, and slap the old bugger back in, don't you? I think that's how the water's getting in anyway. Literally, there's the only hole in the bonnet. There's no other way water can get in there, because it's quite a big sort of orifice, isn't it? It's just got it all black now. Anyway, it can wait, can't it? It can really wait. That's definitely it today. I am more than crackered. There's a million things to do, and I've just gone, no. That's it. So I'm off indoors. Catch you in a bit. Oh, look what she's fallen out. I was walking away, I heard this horrible noise, and I looked around, and this is all on the floor. Incredible. It was a little bit of a jimmy to get it out, but you can see where there has been leakage in the past here. The new Rad wasn't an awful lot of money. It was £65. So yeah, you get what you pay for. Yes, I know, but it's all I've got at the moment that I can use to sort this thing out. So that's what I've got coming. So there's that. I took the cowling off first. It basically, look, see what happens here? This is the bottom, this is the top, nice little wedge there, 10mm that you undo slightly, same the other side, and this lot just slids off. So there we go, this piece was doing nothing, and there was a plug going into there. No, beg your pardon, that's the power for the fan, and there was another power cable cord up here for this fan that doesn't exist. Okay, now, if I remember rightly, in my shed, I've had kicking around for about, I don't know, 3 years? Yeah, it's about 3 years I've had a fan kicking around in here. Oh look, there's a fan kicking around in here. Alright, Floozy. I don't for a second think it will fit. I think this is Vorsprung der Technik Brigade. Let's see if it's any sort of match of size. Okay. And I wonder if those... Nah, they're not going to fit, are they? Them 3 bolt holes. Never going to fit in them 3 bolt holes, are they? Let's have a measure. No. We've all done it. Come on, we've all done it. Well, that's a real shame. I just thought for one horrible second that would fit in there. Mind you, it has the external clamperoons, isn't it? What about there? No, forget it. It don't fit. It's not supposed to fit, and it don't fit. Right, I'm happy that that's out now, because when the new one turns up, I can literally just throw it in. I am going to get the hose pump out tomorrow, hopefully, and stick it in where the top hose goes on the engine, turn it on, and I'll wash it right through, see what happens. Incidentally, I have done a little bit of tidying. You wouldn't notice it to look at it, but look at the gap in there, look. So there's that bar that normally rusts and falls away. I do need one of the rubber stoppers. You've got 2 at the top each side, and you've got 2 at the bottom. One there, one down there. I've only got 3, so I knew one was missing because the whole thing was flopping around. Right, that bolt in here that was hanging out from the bell housing, I've been in there, that's tightened up. Okay, so don't panic, I haven't forgotten about that, but I thought I'd tighten it up now just because, so I don't forget about it. So it's done, one less thing off my mind. All the cableage has been cleaned, and it's all stuffed back up here, ready to connect on back to the fan. There's that one. That's a temperature switch on the fan. This is the one that connects into the cable that's on the radiator itself. And down here is the second cable coiled up there and taped up to go to that second fan hole. But it seems to work alright as is. There is already an oil cooler of sorts. Where is it? There. I saw this pipe coming down. This pipe there. Follow that down. I thought, oh, what's this? Ah, a very rudimentary oil cooler. There, look, and then it goes across there, and then back up that side. Right there, and then back up yonder. Rah. So it's basically waiting now for Rad. It's waiting for... I didn't have to move the alternator. How cool, I didn't have to move anything. I literally just jiggled. Once I got the cowling separate from the radiator, cowling come out first, but the radiator had to come out the bottom between that bar that normally rusts and the front bumper. So to put it back in is just a reversal of ripping out, isn't it? So that's that. Well, I'm going. I'm not even going to stand there waffling now. I'm going. I need to get cleaned up, and I need my meds rather quickly. You know what it's like, you get started and you just get to the top of the mountain, but you can't slide down the other side because that's for another day. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next episode. Right, take care guys, and we'll see you later. Well, that was a wrestle from start to finish. This part is in the cylinder head, or loosely in the cylinder head. All you can feel behind that bracket is this circular collar. So what tool got me out of the shit again? Baby grips, straight on the thread, lock straight in, so I could actually hold that and undo this little 13mm flipping sausage. So anyway, that is now off. So now I can actually wind this piece into the engine properly, into the gearbox housing. Sorry, into the gearbox housing through to the block, not the cylinder head, do beg your pardon. Then this bracket goes in that way up, so you can't see the end of the thread. So I'm guessing you have to do the nut up from underneath. And then those electrical connectors click onto there, 1, 2. Oh my God, I know it's something trivial, but they're meant to clip onto there for a flipping reason, aren't they? That's what, otherwise they wouldn't be there. They'd just be flipping G-clipped up to the framework somewhere, up to the chassis, or chassis, as our brethren across the pond, I like to say. Right, I tell you what, I did a bit of video. I think there's the last clip of yesterday's video, or the last video I did, from your perspective, and I had a great big black oily, or they caught my head somewhere, or I'd rubbed my head or something. Yeah, I thought that was quite amusing watching it back yesterday, going, oh my goodness. This thing people want to know about, it is when you have an autoimmune condition, let's say, regardless of which one it is, your body, your antibodies attack things that go wrong in your body. Instead of good things going to fix it, things go and beat the shit out of it, which makes it completely derogatory and backwards. And that's what's happening here. It just doesn't heal. So last time I put one of these on, I left it on there for a day or two, and I thought, well, I'll take it off. I took it off, and there was a nice scab there. So the scab was forming underneath, and like an idiot, I left it off. The scab fell off, started bleeding again. It was like, yeah, so the blood doesn't coagulate. It just keeps going. So, and I'm not on blood thinners or anything like that. I'm on other things. So I've put a blob of Germaline on there, a little bit, tiny bit of Savlon, and I've put a new patch back on there. And the bloody thing's staying there until hell freezes over. And by that time, I'm hoping that the scab would have scabbed, dropped off, and it would all be nice and healed underneath. But this has been going on now for months. You haven't noticed, you guys, and you have asked me about it. Even the next door's little girl, she went, "What's that?" That's my on-off switch there. So there we go. That just puts that to bed. Right, let me crack on with this. I've got lots of cleaning to do, lots of rebolting, cleaning of threads in paraffin, and yeah, lots to do, just simply as.